You can imagine how many pictures and films I then selected that. I don't know. I said, wow, I have so many things from this museum, right?
So these are parts of grips,
Yes.
guards, tools for measuring the correct shape of scabbards or handles,
Yeah.
molds for hammering in things to get the correct curve.
Yeah.
And some of like the bayonet grip is cast in one piece, but then it's finished with files and that, and it has to exactly fit onto the bayonet exactly right. So this is again this when they started out making things like this, they were all pretty rough and ready in the sense that one might be a little bit bigger than the other, a little bit smaller.
Yes.
But as you get into the 1800s, making things really uniform so you could swap parts.
Yes.
Which we hear about like Colt revolvers as being a big thing, but it was already happening with swords.
Yes.
Possibly not as precise as revolvers, but
yes.
Oh, you can see all again, stacks of little bits and that for.
When I was there, it looked like you went shopping for your missing sword parts, right?
Yeah. Well, somewhere I've got a set of bronze scabbard mounts. I've got the for a knife scabbard. I took them off to clean the wooden part of the scabbard, and I haven't put them back together yet. And I think they've been sitting around like that for 10 years. It just reminds me of all the work I've got to finish doing. Yeah, this is the shop for lost scabbard parts, and there's things in there that are like they look like pommels.
Yeah,
for
they
sort,
do.
and whether they're the actual pommel or they're the part for making the mold impression for casting the pommels. It's hard to tell. I mean, even picking them up, you might have trouble telling.
So here they explain again. And one thing also good for those of you who write in French, academic papers, the museum provides all these names, period names for the sword.
So you've got the correct terminology when you're talking about sword. It's quillins.
Yes. Guys, we're not talking about modern French describing. We know exactly what kind of terms and terminology back then in France they used for different parts, which makes it again valuable, right?
Oh yeah, because I mean, this. Imagine you're writing a historical novel, and you don't know what something's called, and you just give it a modern name because that's the only. But something like this, you're writing a novel about Napoleonic France or something, and you want to say, "Oh, my such and such just got chopped off." It's not that everybody would have known this. Certainly, the sword makers would have known the names. This is an interesting machine.
Yeah.
What I like is a lot of these machines are using like big flywheels to get them up to the right speed, and they're gonna stay pretty close to that speed. It's like computer controlled speeds, except it's just using inertia to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is
right. Okay, these are different profiles of blades. Right here, they show it. Profiles of blades, they say it here, right? And then also for scabbards accordingly. So and then put the terms for them again here.
Yeah, that's amazing stuff.
Amazing. Lots of research has gone into this museum.
But yeah, but the they're putting this all out so people can just walk in and you take a picture of it and you go home and you've got all of the information you need for talking about these things.
You see, I took pictures of all these explanations they have.
Yeah, look, I can understand why too, because this would be what I do, because I would just love to.
Just in case, we can have it for future reference. You see that here?
And I mean, if you're interested in any kind of weapon, then it's details like this that give you an insight into how it was designed, how it was made,
yes,
all that kind of stuff. Yeah, I can understand looking at this. Oh, here we've got swords in there.
Yeah, and here these are also
Is
exceptional
that
swords.
showing the progression of hilt design or something?
Yes.
Yeah.
Let me see if we can. Oh, I don't have it. Here. It's more plain. Just, solid ones, plain. Oh, God, why is it? Yeah. Oops, sorry. Okay, now we can come here. Yeah, here you have better.
Yeah, so they're showing the stages of finishing the hilt. The guard, I should say. So it's really rough at the beginning, and then they smooth it all out and run the curves into each other and everything like that.
Look at the solid blade, Bede. Look at this one.
Oh, yeah, that looks like it could do damage. See, again, people don't get a chance to see this kind of progression in the working on things. And I think there's enough people that are interested in this. I mean, not everybody has a technical interest. I think people that are involved in engineering would find this interesting, even if they weren't interested in swords so much, because it shows them a technique that's relevant and interesting and shows its progress. You get a real feel for how this is all put together.
And here there are explanations for those ones, for example, each one of them, which one it is. So the explanation, so you can exactly know. And here we go, these explanations as I showed you.
I see. So I saw something there about a two-handed sword, medieval two-handed sword. So it always makes sense now. And the wide variety of blade shapes.
They made this, Look at this. Let me see if I can. Yeah. Here you go. You see that? Unbelievable.
Yeah. Look at that. And you see all the different cross sections of the blades.
Yeah.
And some of the long straight ones with very deep fullers and very steep angles of the edges, which means you can't really cut with them, but they're really strong. So these are the ones in the middle are for thrusting mainly. This is really, I think, teach you all about.
Now we can watch it. Excuse me, I was looking for this.
Better on the movie. That's good.
Yeah. There's a light reflection of light, but still solid blades, guys.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Very nice.
Extremely nice.
Beautiful blades, honestly.
Yeah. And when the blade is out of its handle and everything, you can concentrate just on the shape of the blade.
Yeah.
Distracted by all the pretty bits.
Yes. And all these blades are made in Klingenthal here, guys, just for your information again. Then we move on. Okay. I showed these ones to you. Infantry.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So hangers and I think I've got one of those ones at the top there with the solid bronze handle that belonged to my friend that we've got to find the person he wanted to give it to. An engineer's like a gladius kind of sword, but for
those ones. Yes.
Yeah. Very heavy, very solid. You could chop down a post with them. They're not meant for fighting, I don't think, but they'd be really good for chopping stuff up.
Yeah. Look how beautiful these things are.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
Mm. Some of
Really.
the multiple full dagger blades too look
Yes.
very attractive.
Look at this, please. Yeah, you can see them. Handle. Look at them.
Yeah.
All Klingenthal. Look at them.
Yeah. So these are what issued to infantry, artillerymen and things like that.
Artillery. Yes.
Because you don't want
Infantry.
too long sword because it'll get in the way. But on the other hand, you can use it as a tool if things get really bad. Because the blades are really solid.
Look at this one. This one has a beautiful handle.
Yeah.
Really
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah. This is the kind that my
Look,
friend.
this one. It's my favorite. Look at how beautiful it is.
Yeah, they look classical, don't they?
Yeah. Very beautiful. Look, here you go. Oh, this is so
Oh, that
beautiful.
multiple fullering. See, doesn't that look good?
It does. It really
I think
does.
I think that if you mounted that as a kinjal or a
People
karma,
would think it's a kinjo, yeah.
yeah, it'd make a really good one.
Yeah.
Because these solid cast handles actually unbalance the blades. But a much lighter handle, that would be a really effective blade in close fighting.
Yeah. And this one as well. This
Yeah.
was for a teenager, for an adolescent, right? That's what you met.
Oh,
Joseph Kohler. Yes, made by Joseph Kohler. Some people, Joseph Kohler made it. So, yeah, that's right. Made for the
wow.
son. Yeah,
I
beautiful.
once saw a Shamshi made for a child.
Yeah,
Uh,
there are as well.
and with the uh, ivory grip scales and everything like that. And I'm
Yes,
thinking it was perfect. It was,
yes.
absolutely.
Another one, saber, cavalry, light cavalry saber.
Hmm.
Another one,
Oh, this
light
is
cavalry saber. Really beautiful.
yeah, this is really
Also,
attractive.
all the thing is about what also you could Musée d'Armée, many of them also not only in Klingenthal, different locations in Musée d'Armée. You see the Imperial Guard. Also, those guys fought in Waterloo, and they all have these brass guards. It's so interesting, beautiful. That's what I really love. That these French. When I
Yeah.
compare it to English guards, they're iron, but they're very simple. But when you look at the French, everything about French,
Well, yeah.
swords is
England went through periods of using brass guards, and then they started to go for steel ones, but still pierced. But and then you get to the end of the 19th century, and they're just pieces of steel, and they've lost their attractiveness.
yes.
Because they're trying to make them more effective, but of course they stopped using swords 20 years before, basically.
Look at this one.
So this is this is it cast in brass, but looking back at an earlier type of sword, but of course it doesn't actually function the same way as the earlier sword. Because on a small sword or something like that, those little loops would have been big enough to put your finger through, but not anymore.
This is glaive bayonet, as they call it. Guard
Hmm.
Swiss, they made it for them. Look at this.
Oh, so these are based on Swiss dagger
Yes.
handle kind
Yes.
of thing.
That's
Yeah,
right.
yeah, that makes sense. I'm not, like it
Oh,
doesn't
oops.
leap out at me. Ah, back
Again,
to
these are beautiful. Look at this. Unbelievable.
yeah,
Beautiful blades. Yeah, beautiful blades. Look.
yeah,
Hussar saber, that's what this one is. Oops, sorry, this one.
yeah. It's got that real.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, if that's its scabbard, the scabbard's longer than the saber by about
Mhm.
10 or 15 centimeters, which is fair enough. But one of the things they used to complain about sabers was that they got tangled up in your legs when you were on foot, because they had those very long straps,
Yes.
and which is fine when you're on a horse because the saber looks really nice, but when you're on foot, it's pretty hard to walk around. Oh, yeah, that's a nice solid looking blade, isn't it?
Yes. Cavalry saber, 1779,
Okay.
unmounted. And this is also made, as they say, also for the Scottish design, as they call it here, I think.
Oh,
Yes,
yeah, basket
Scottish
hilted,
design,
but
1750 to 1780. Yeah.
basket hilted backsword, I think, because it's only got one each.
Mm.
But yeah, see, the thing about this really good protection for your hand, but really bulky to wear,
Yeah. Look at these. So
Oh,
they
yeah.
made different types, huh, for different markets.
Yeah, there's a huge range of blade shapes and cross sections.
Yeah.
And of
They
course,
were so skilled, Bede. They could
Yeah.
make everything, right?
Yeah, I mean, you just put an order in. We want the standard pattern for the 15th Hussars or whatever. That's certainly not that, but and here's a straight sword with a
Yeah.
quite a solid hilt. The guard is really quite solid, the part that's in front of the hand. So, and it's a straight sword, so it's you're fencing with a point, so that you assume the guy that you're fighting is doing the same thing.
Yes.
Um,
Yes.
Amazing stuff.
Amazing. Look at this one. Oh, this one is my favorite. I hope I have this one. Look, Pete.
Oh yeah, the cutout.
Oh God, how beautiful!
Yeah, you gotta hand it to the people that did the design work, and then the people that executed it. And bear in mind, this isn't made for princes or kings. This is
Yes.
just cavalry officers or infantry officers. So the
From revolutionary period.
design level is spreading out to
Yes.
more and more people.
Officer sword revolutionary period. Pete, isn't it beautiful? Look at this, please.
They've kind of thought this design out really well. Considering the extravagant uniforms they used to wear, I suppose you had to have a sword that would really stand out. Or you went the other way and used a Mameluke hilted sword, and it was so plain that everything else it stood out by being plain.
Yes.
It's interesting how they do this.
Yes. Curious writings here.
Mm.
Again, okay, we had that before. And look at this one.
It reminds me of spreadsheets. I mean, I'm
Yes.
looking at.
Then again, blades,
Oh yeah.
small swords.
So they've got the cross sections of the blades on little panels of
Yes.
next to the blade, so you know what it's
Yes.
like.
They
That's
also made machetes. Look at this.
Yeah, the machetes. Yeah,
They
but
did
they're
that.
much more elegant than your average machete.
Of course, they're top quality. These are not like one of those. No, they
I mean,
didn't, you know,
I'm looking at the shape of the grip and I'm saying this is quite a slender grip, but look, it's got a piece to
beat
fit into your
kitchen
hand.
knives,
Yeah,
swords, sabers, armor, everything they made, agricultural tools, top quality. It was not that, oh, you just bought something, everything top quality.
yeah.
Everything. Not a single thing is average.
No, this is it.
Yeah.
They're the top people in the field, so they're going to
Yeah.
do the best stuff they can. It really is clear.
Yeah, it's clear, really.
That looks naval, as it's got an anchor on it, I think.
Yes.
Yeah, see that hilt it's a sculpture. The hilt is beautiful sculpture. I
So
mean,
here you have also the measurements, but then again, those measurements for also you can find in the book I've shown you. So those of you who are interested, right?
yeah. And a thing that's very important to me is the weight of anything because it tells you how easy. Oh, I mean, you can have a dreadfully unbalanced sword that weighs less than a really well balanced one, but in general speaking, if you need to get some feel about how heavy a weapon is.
They have so many blades in their exhibition, you just get lost, right? Look at
Yeah,
these ones.
and different styles. I mean,
Yeah,
totally different. And I
look at
like the
these
way
ones.
they start out with a straight sword and gradually get more and more curved.
Yeah, you're right. Look at this.
Mm. Yeah, it's wonderful. Oh, look at so there's a three fleur-de-lis. So that's the royal
Yeah,
coat of arms or whatever.
yes,
I'm not a
exactly.
herald.
Corps de Roi, Royal Corps, exactly.
Yeah,
That's
so that makes sense. So that's a broadsword kind of sword.
Here it says as well, Corps
Yeah,
du Roi, exactly. Oops,
yeah.
here. Beautiful. Ordre Royal de la Légion d'Honneur. Wow. Légion d'Honneur, oui. Corps Royal, yeah. Look at this.
This is real history. See,
Unbelievable,
you've
Pete.
got the objects, you've got the paperwork, you've got the
Everything.
yeah,
Manufacturing process.
yeah.
Everything.
This is what you want in a museum.
And now here, body
Or
armor. Beautiful, huh? They
I
also
think
made
it's
armor. And look,
only
Pete, here. Look.
yeah. Oh, the only
Measuring.
thing that a modern horseman wears that's armored is the helmet, because that's the part you get most damage when you fall off a horse. And obviously, back in the day, it was also one of the parts that got most damage if someone hit you with a sword. Yeah, so these, and of course, we look at these and you see movies and cuirasses sit quite low on the body. These sit up high on your waist, so you've got fully flexible because they're not sitting down on your hips. And the cuirassier swords are much straighter and heavier than the light cavalry swords, which are more curved and lightweight.
Yeah.
Awesome. That's a weird helmet. Maybe
The
it
one
had
on the
something.
left does not look
Yeah.
as beautiful as the other
Oh, the
ones.
sword
So
looks
it
really
meant,
nice.
yeah, this French rooster, right?
Yeah.
The symbol, French symbol.
Yeah. And the saw edge back is often a sign of an engineer's.
Oh,
But
Pete, do you remember? And we had this the talk on the other French Musée Historique in Strasbourg. That also beautiful sword with the rooster handle. Do you remember?
yeah,
It reminds me
yeah,
of that one. And they had
yeah.
also sword made in Klingenthal. We talked about it. Marked Klingenthal. Remember?
Yeah, but those elaborate hilts are, I mean, possibly not very practical, but certainly very decorative.
Look at
Oh,
this one.
oh yeah. See the beautiful forging of the rib down the center of the cuirass?
Yes. Here
It's
they say
very
inspector was Boersch, controller was Bick, and then revised again checked and added by Lobstein. So of the they checked this.
cavalry of the line. Yeah.
Oh God, again, so many blades. Look how many blades they have, Pete.
Yeah. And each, well, not each, but many with a different design in the cross
Yes,
section and all this
yes.
kind of stuff.
Let me just show it to you guys.
Mm. Yeah, I'm afraid I'd spend hours in this place. And I'm not even interested in 19th century swords. They're just so nice.
But
Uh,
Pete, these are exceptional, aren't they?
oh yeah. Yeah.
18 and 19th century blades from France.
Mm.
It's unbelievable, beautiful.
Yeah, these are good things.
And I hope we could just mention it to you that, guys, how beautiful. Okay, this is a lance, cavalry
Yeah.
lance, 1820.
1812, is it? Yeah.
1812, yes.
Yeah.
Exactly, 1812, yes.
Yeah, that would be a dangerous thing to come sticking into you.
Correct.
So these things in the box here, these are for measuring the person, are they? Or
Yes, for measurement.
yeah, so this is your kind of,
They have
put
these handwritings. I love them. They also have them in the
yeah,
exhibition. You can
people had
see it.
beautiful things.
Yeah.
I mean, in my grandmother's day, which was a long time ago, because she was a teenager in the 1890s, everybody wrote beautifully.
Yeah.
Even people working in shops, grocers had beautiful handwriting. You had to.
Yeah.
This is a musket.
Musket, yeah.
Yeah, with a series of bayonets.
Yes. So they made also the fire mechanism, right? That's what also they
Okay,
made. Yeah.
the locks. So
Yes.
they're ones for percussion locks.
Percussion locks. Yes.
Yeah, yeah. This is fascinating. Oh, the kind of Yataghan bayonets that they developed.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah,
Yeah.
whether they were particularly good when they were on your musket or rifle, I don't know. but they look impressive and scary. I mean, if somebody was stabbing at you with one of those, you'd be a bit worried. The principal entrepreneurs.
Yes, these are the entrepreneurs, the owners, and then you can read about the owners, who they were during that period of time, different period of time. And the last stage was, as we talked about it, they became an agricultural tool manufacturer. And there you can see that. I think up to, we said, what did you say, Reed? 1960, something like that? See?
I was talking to someone at my archery club once, and she said that when she was young, she lived in Poland, and people cut their grass with scythes. And she said it's much easier than using a lawnmower, and it looks much better. I said, yeah, it's good exercise. I might say she's a very hyper fit person, so maybe
Can I
her
ask you
idea.
a question? When you look at them, they're also really beautiful blades.
Oh yeah, the design is excellent.
But why do these things remind me of death and not the swords?
Well, I think maybe it's that image of the Grim Reaper.
Ah, of course, Nigel said, yeah, that's it.
It permeates Western art. Going back,
that's it. That's the reason.
My first thought is somebody cutting the grass, and your
Yes,
thought...
exactly. Because it should be other way around. Swords were meant for fighting, not these things. Yeah, exactly. You're right. Look at this. So, even the last stages of this manufacturing site, they made exceptional things, right? Please take a look at them.
Yeah,
this is not just some sort of, because when you say agricultural tool, people think, some cheap stuff. Not at all, guys. Not at all.
If you look on eBay or something like that, and you're looking at bill hooks or things like this for pruning vines or trees or something like that, they're exceptionally expensive and they're good quality.
Yes.
I mean, you buy one for $20 and it's a flat piece of steel with an edge on it, and you buy one for $200, which is forged and shaped, and so I can see where they could have been making money with this right up until the end, because until like when everything became mechanized, then the market was starting to disappear.
You see that, Pete?
Yeah, so these are just excellent forging.
Excellent forging.
Yeah,
look at this one. It's engravings, gilding, everything.
Silver steel. Is that silver style?
Yeah.
Oh, gee.
I mean, the last thing you want to do is to use such a thing, right?
Oh, one like that. Yeah, you'd be a bit careful. I know that all I know about scything was told to me by somebody that did it when they were a girl. But I know that they have to be super sharp and be able to hold their edge, because grass is full of silica, and silica wears down the edge, so that to make efficient scythes is really a skilled thing. It's not just you can use any old piece of steel for it. They've got to be to take a really good edge and hold it for a long time. I mean, you're not hitting hard things like a sword hits flesh and bone. You're just cutting grass, but it's got to just smoothly go through.
Yeah.
And it's funny. I've only ever used like a Japanese kama type sickle, which I use in gardening sometimes for cutting the weeds down that. And that you just pull and everything just cuts.
There's 2 points. Please take a look at that. Do you see different layers on this one?
Yeah. Yeah, that's exceptional.
And look at this. I see a diamond. So diamond steel.
Yeah, because they're stressing the hardness, because the hardness is what keeps the edge. If you have to sharpen these every day, I think, when you're using them for big areas. Yes. But the harder the steel is, the less you've got to sharpen them.
Look at how huge this one is. Look, Pete.
Yeah, they're amazing. I think there's all different types too, depending on the different shaped handles.
Yes.
Again, my knowledge is and this is the forging.
Yes.
So the various stages in forging.
Yes, exactly. So they have these examples also. So they show they were really, really forged, right? These are not some, ground to shape, not like that.
they probably lasted for generations.
Yeah.
Though again, the repeated sharpening gradually eats away at the blade, but still. And this is kind of like this special angle that the where it attaches to the handle comes out, because this has been worked out over the last,
And they kept the gilding and engraving even here. So they kept that tradition even here when they were no longer making swords.
Prizes in agricultural shows or something like that, where you were the best. I don't know the background, but I really can see this being a presentation to somebody for doing really well.
So we can take a look at them here again in a short clip. Look at
they've got one mounted on its handle as well too.
Oh God, how beautiful these things are, honestly.
Seriously good.
Yeah.
And a model of the trip hammer.
Yeah.
Just in case you forgot how we did this. Really, really nice pieces.
Impressive, honestly.
I really have to cut my grass. This is what it's telling me.
You need to buy one of these, please. But the company is not there anymore.
No, this is true.
Yeah.
Might be able to get an antique one on eBay. Could you imagine the shipping from France to Australia or something?
Exactly. Oh God.
Not just the blade, but the handle, because you'd have to have the right handle for the blade.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Look at these. Klingenthal, Alsace. Really beautiful. Really beautiful.
See, good design in everyday life. This is and people are still doing it. It's just not as common as it was in the old days. See, that's a lovely piece. I mean, this is branding. We have advertising people. We've got to get branding for our company or whatever. This is what they were doing back in the 19th century, and into the first half of the 20th century. So this is how you knew you were buying from a good manufacturer.
So, Bede, let me just tell you how many things we've seen. 3 sets of slides and films, each one almost 90. So 3 times 90 means almost 270 slides and films we went through in this session on Klingenthal. I'm sorry for taking up your time so much, but I hope you enjoyed it.
I didn't even feel the time passing. So, I mean, that has to be a good sign.
Isn't it beautiful, this Klingenthal?
Yeah. Again, it's not a period of sword making I'm interested in per se, but the actual objects are interesting. And the technology behind them is really interesting.
Bede, you have seen different museums. Have you ever seen a museum for sword making like this? I've never seen it nowhere.
No, I've never seen it.
It's amazing, isn't it?
I've seen museums that had, that covered a general thing where they had sections on how something was made. Like in the National Museum in Seoul in Korea, there's a whole section where they're showing how early armor was made, and they had these shaped pieces of wood that they hammered the iron strips around and everything like that. And I thought that was really good. But see, here is entirely at a different level, because the actual people that made it contributed, or their ancestors contributed pieces to make this whole collection. So it's a community history thing. It's not just how swords were made, but it's how our grandfathers and great grandfathers worked. Yes. I think that's great. I think there should be more of it.
Yes.
But yeah, that's wonderful. Great.
Thank you very much, Bede, for taking your time. I wish you a nice day, and thanks a lot for contributing.
Thank you very much. See you again.
Thank you. See you.